DevOps transformation requires a lot of time, money, and resources, including a re-evaluation of communication, training, and tools. It is essential to be able to examine DevOps metrics and performance standards with transparency and precision in order to define objectives, enhance efficiency, and measure success. The appropriate performance metrics may be used to assess the value of current work and to help influence future choices about strategy and technology. So, in this video, we will understand everything about DevOps metrics. What does DevOps metrics mean exactly? What are the prominent metrics? Before we get started, I would like to address the agenda for today's session. We will start our session with a brief understanding of what DevOps metrics is. Then, we will understand how to measure DevOps success and talk about the top DevOps metrics that can be used. Finally, we will conclude the session by talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages of DevOps metrics. I hope the agenda was clear. Before we start with our session, if you like this video, do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, to learn more about DevOps and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's DevOps certification training, which is curated for both beginners and experienced professionals. All of the necessary information is given in the description box below. Without further ado, let us get started with our first topic for today. What are DevOps metrics? DevOps metrics are principal factors that effectively indicate the performance of a DevOps software development pipeline and allow the quick identification and removal of any process bottlenecks. These metrics may be used to monitor both technical ability and team procedures. Metrics enable DevOps teams to analyze and evaluate collaborative processes and track their progress towards achieving high-level objectives such as greater quality, faster release cycles, and enhanced application performance. At its foundation, DevOps focuses on reducing the distinctions between the development and operations teams, allowing developers and system administrators to collaborate more closely. So, this was about the definition of DevOps metrics. Now, let us move on to our next topic. How to measure DevOps success. The objective of the DevOps methodology is to develop higher quality software more quickly and to adjust quickly to changing needs and technology, in order to keep the product at the top of its field. If your team realizes this goal, you are getting all of the advantages of the DevOps process. Whether you have fulfilled your objectives or are currently implementing a DevOps approach, metrics help in finding hidden problems and verify the areas in which your company excels. DevOps metrics also enable us to detect early reductions in our KPIs, allowing us to resolve before customer satisfaction is affected. The most effective DevOps teams gather input from stakeholders and execute changes quickly based on their knowledge and careful planning. How do you know whether this point has been reached? Customers and end users who are satisfied are a positive indicator. But even if you are meeting the needs of your stakeholders, you may be overlooking other factors, such as application performance, which may not be creating problems now but may in the future. So, there is a need for methods for measuring our key performance indicators or KPIs to evaluate whether we're achieving our objectives and to find areas for improvement. Now, I guess you have some idea about how to measure DevOps success. Now, let us move on to our next topic and talk about the top DevOps metrics. Google's DevOps Research and Assessment or DORA team has determined that the top 4 metrics on our list are the most important data points. These KPIs, along with 4 more, will give even better insight into the performance of your pipeline. The DevOps metrics we are going to discuss in this video are: lead time for changes, change failure rate, deployment frequency, mean time to recovery, customer ticket volume, defect escape rate, application performance, mean time to detection. Now, let us discuss about these DevOps metrics one by one. First, lead time for changes. Lead time for changes is the period between when new code is committed and when it is built and deployed. Rapid updates are necessary for maintaining quality and momentum in the DevOps model, therefore simplifying the testing and merging process is essential. In simple words, the lead time is the amount of time required to develop, test, and deliver code. To estimate lead time, teams must have a clear definition of when work starts and finishes, such as the time between when a deadline is established and when the resultant code is released into production. Teams will adopt DevOps automation approaches to realize greater testing and compiling efficiencies. The lead time for modifications enables the team to determine precisely how long it takes for code changes to be implemented. The lead time provides insight into the effectiveness of the development process. Lead time measurements may be used to monitor the deployment frequency and expertise level of team members. It reflects how responsive a corporation is to client or user requirements within its objectives. A lengthy lead time may indicate that a team is experiencing bottlenecks, or it may indicate that a corporation prioritizes more difficult projects that need more time, both of which are important factors. Second is change failure rate. The change failure rate indicates the percentage of deployed changes that need urgent attention or correction. This measure does not account for issues discovered before deployment, and teams may use it to evaluate the effectiveness of their testing approach. In other words, a high rate of change failure may indicate a fault in the DevOps testing process, in addition to other production-related issues. Change failures are bad because they result in the delivery of faulty code to clients, and the team resources have to focus on implementing urgent solutions first. This indicates that the change failure rate is a key metric for assessing the team's testing processes and code quality. Third is deployment frequency. Deployment frequency is related to the ultimate goal of DevOps, which is the rapid development of high-quality software. Measuring how often the team pushes new code into production demonstrates the pipeline's performance in relation to this objective. The frequency of deployment offers this insight. If your team deploys code regularly, yet the code frequently includes problems, the process is not as efficient as the frequency of deployment would indicate. Defective deployments will also result in decreased customer satisfaction, particularly if the problems affect the user experience. According to what constitutes a successful deployment, deployment frequency might vary by company and across teams. Being able to deploy on demand enables constant feedback and faster delivery of value to end users. Fourth, mean time to recovery. Mean time to recovery, or MTTR, in the DevOps framework is a measurement of the time required for a deployed application to recover from failure and resume regular operations. MTTR does not differentiate between service interruptions caused by code deployment and larger system failures. A monitoring approach for applications is essential for lowering MTTR. Monitoring and logging technologies will reduce the time required to notice an outage and may also help to determine its root cause. One of the characteristics of DevOps is the cooperation between the development and operations teams, which enables quicker problem discovery and resolution. So, by deploying in small batches to limit risk and use effective monitoring tools to anticipate failure, elite teams achieve rapid MTTR metrics. Now, time to restore may be difficult to quantify, since this statistic might vary across systems. Fifth is customer ticket volume. Although not chosen by DORA, customer ticket volume is a crucial metric for determining how effectively your program meets the demands of end users. Feedback is crucial to the DevOps model's emphasis on continuous improvement, and customer tickets are one data source that may help you target your efforts on recurring problems. However, a large amount of customer support requests shows that your program is not satisfying the core requirements of your customers. Being able to swiftly categorize tickets will help you to acquire a high-level understanding of the nature and severity of problems. In any circumstance, fewer customer concerns indicate that your application meets expectations and operates as required. Higher levels indicate that you must pause and reconsider your strategy. Sixth, defect escape rate. The defect escape rate is the rate at which code containing bugs or other defects is released into production. Similar to the change failure rate, this metric measures the overall success of the testing process and the quality assurance QA strategy. However, defect escape rate is just concerned with the percentage of production pushes containing defective code, as opposed to change failure rate, which tracks how many of these pushes need early correction. Together, these indicators give better insight into areas where the QA process may be enhanced to detect problems earlier in the pipeline and the effect of faults that are not detected. The defect escape rate indicator helps you to determine whether your team is providing product enhancements too quickly. Most likely, a high defect escape rate would adversely affect both the overall performance of the application and the customer satisfaction rate. And there is no purpose in delivering a solution with minimal business value, since it is in contradiction to the principles of agile software development. Seventh is application performance. Application performance examines how the application responds to varying resource demands and user requirements under normal and peak operating conditions. Ideally, the application's foundation is strong enough to accommodate huge requests without affecting users' load times. Application performance measures how the application performs to circumstances with high demand. Prior to deployment, these tests are undertaken to ensure that the program satisfies client requirements. DevOps teams will continue to monitor performance after deployment to verify that the application runs as intended in production. Decreases in application performance indicate possible problems that should be proactively evaluated and resolved. The last metrics is mean time to detection. Mean time to detection, or MTTD, is a metric that indicates how long it takes to find and report a problem after it emerges in production. This strongly connects with application performance monitoring as the major method for identifying issues, while customer requests are also a source of feedback. Measurement of MTTD is impacted by other DevOps KPIs, such as mean time to failure or MTTF and mean time to recovery, that is MTTR. To determine mean time to detection, add all incident detection times for a team or project and divide by the total number of events. Mean time to detection demands correct understanding of when an IT problem begins, which requires the capability to examine and assess infrastructure KPI data from the past. The quicker a mistake is discovered, the quicker the team can investigate and implement a correction. A quick MTTD demonstrates that your team has a strong monitoring approach and is quick to address problems as they arise. When paired with a low MTTR, your team finds and resolves issues at scale, preferably before the client is even aware that the application is experiencing an issue. This was about our DevOps metrics. Now, let us move on to our next topic and talk about advantages and disadvantages of DevOps metrics. DORA metrics provide a helpful starting point for analyzing your company's current delivery levels and how they compare to those of competitors in your sector. DORA metrics are applicable to any organization that delivers or develops software, although they are especially prevalent in the technology, financial services, and retail or wholesale sectors. According to the most current assessment on the state of DevOps, high performers now represent 20% of survey respondents. High achievers account for 23%, middle performers for 44%, and poor performers for just 12%. Becoming an outstanding performer may have positive effects on the organization and the end user. The State of DevOps study, for instance, indicates that exceptional performers are doing very well in their profits. DORA measurements may also help businesses in ways like evaluate software delivery and stability to see how teams may be improved. Next, make judgments based on evidence rather than depending on instinct. Then, establishing trust within a company reduces friction and enables faster, higher quality output. Next, learn the specifics of your organization's DevOps and find areas for improvement. Now, talking about the challenges of DORA metrics. While DORA measurements are a useful starting point, the survey-based structure of this method makes it difficult to specify the precise improvements your business need or to personalize them. As a result of varying definitions and measurement tools or protocols, metrics may also vary significantly amongst companies and departments. Additionally, DORA measurements are often dependent on particular apps rather than team leaders or structures. I would like to conclude the session by saying, DevOps metrics are required to understand how DevOps teams are functioning and if the implementation of DevOps is really profitable. A successful DevOps methodology needs teams to monitor a consistent and relevant set of DevOps KPIs to verify that procedures, pipelines, and tools achieve the intended aim of delivering better software more quickly. Thus, monitoring these DevOps metrics will reduce production time overall. Whether you have fulfilled your objectives or are currently implementing a DevOps approach, metrics help us find hidden problems and validate the areas in which we shine. DevOps metrics also allow us to detect early reductions in our KPIs, allowing us to resolve before customer satisfaction is adversely affected. The most effective DevOps teams gather input from stakeholders and execute changes swiftly based on their knowledge and proper planning. So, with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope it was helpful. Comment your thoughts in the section below. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, never to miss an update from the Invensis Learning channel. Also, to learn more about DevOps and its practices, check out Invensis Learning's DevOps certification training. It is ideal for individuals and enterprises that are looking to gain a comprehensive understanding of DevOps principles, knowledge, and practical skills. Invensis provides interactive instructor-led DevOps master certification training with highly qualified, certified, and accredited trainers. All of the necessary information is given in the description box below. Thank you. Have a nice day.